Hola mis queridos, ¿cómo estás? Me llamo Alicia. Hello my kittens, how are you? My name is Allison, and today we are playing Nancy Drew the Silent Spy. I am actually kind of looking forward to this video because I kind of forgotten what I previously did. Therefore, task list will be helpful this time. I'll actually remember to do that. So this is actually the collector's edition, pre-order edition, however you call it. With Her Interactive, they like to do not two separate games, but they like to do like sort of a collector's, or not collector's, but like a special edition kind of thing. There's like the regular game, and then with the pre-orders, you get like special stuff in it. For instance, oh right, in this game, actually, the previous game, Ghost of Thornton Hall, started this fast combo thing. I'll show you that in-game. But in the extras, you get certain things in the awards, like Charmed. This gives you phone charms. That is, if Nancy has a cell phone in the game. And if Nancy does have a cell phone in the game, there are going to be mini games on that cell phone. Not very often, but sometimes in those special editions, there are little side notes or like a side story with Nancy's friends. It's either going to be her best friends, Bess and George, her detective friends, Frank and Joe Hardy. Sometimes it's Ned, her boyfriend. In very rare cases, it's going to be like Bess and Ned, or George and Ned, or just Ned with a bunch of the other characters. It's pretty funny in those cases. Except for Sea of Darkness, I don't think that had a side story. That was part of the special edition, I mean. But in this one, I think there are a few texts from Ned, which I think is interesting. I mean, they're not really helpful in the game, but they're just like, you know, funny little things. And outtakes is also kind of a thing with the special edition, because I know there are other regular Nancy Drew games that do have outtakes after the credits. Sometimes it's not very many. It kind of depends on the amount of achievements or amount of Easter eggs you've managed to get throughout the game. And that's kind of the same thing with the special edition as well. I know that there are some outtakes I've never seen before that are actually on YouTube. And hopefully I'll be able to get enough awards in this game that we'll see some pretty funny stuff in the outtakes. And I do believe the next game is gonna be Shattered Medallion, which I am super excited about. That's actually one of my favorites. That is because I am biased. I've been a super fan of Sunny June ever since he was introduced in Secret of the Scarlet Hand. And I gotta tell you, I mean, there are a lot of fans who are disappointed, but me? No. No. I mean, the only thing I'm disappointed about is him having purple hair. But I'm not surprised, he does have purple hair. So anyway, I think that's about it of what the differences are between Collector's Edition and the regular game. I do know there are some scenarios, situations, even conversations in this game that are psychologically damaging, and in fact does put strain on relationships. In Silent Spy, Nancy has pretty high tension relationships with not just her dad, but her boyfriend as well. In this game, Nancy goes to Scotland on her own. She doesn't tell anyone, except for maybe Ned, I think. Her dad is dead set against it because the reason why she's in Scotland is because she was kind of dragged there. Some sort of secret organization is telling Nancy that her mom's death was not really an accident or something like that. And that's what we're trying to find out, what really happened. But at the same time, we're also finding out that her mom was a spy and all that different stuff. It's actually really, really different from the book. The book is called The Clue of the Whistling Bagpipes, I believe. This is the book that the game is based off of. In the book, her dad has complete faith in her. He's not scared of what she's doing. He's actually asking Nancy to come to Scotland with her because her great-grandma is trying to give her an heirloom, which is the special brooch. Or brooch, however you pronounce it. It gets stolen, or at least misplaced. She doesn't know what happened to it. And so Nancy is like traversing throughout Scotland trying to figure out where it is, who stole it. It's crazy. I mean, there's a whole bunch of crazy stuff that happens. I'm really glad Her Interactive didn't stick to the plot of that, or didn't stick to the dangerous side of that. But I'm still disappointed with what they did with the plot of Silent Spy. They could have done it a little differently. They didn't have to make it where Nancy's mom's death wasn't an accident or anything like that. I really think they could have done it differently. But that's my opinion. It's not a fact. Anyway, sorry. The psychological damage, this kind of stuff can really affect you when you're really young. I know it has for me, not just because of video games though, but because of TV shows, my parents, just different kinds of things. It's actually made me who I am today, not to mention my worst fear. I'm not going to go into that. Yeah, so this game is somewhat dangerous. I will point out what is dangerous and what not to do in reality, because a lot of this stuff is kind of, well, not a lot, but some of this stuff is kind of illegal in America. One last thing before we get into the game. If anything in this video does not look familiar, it is because you have not been keeping up. Please, please, please check out the links in the description box below. There is the previous video as well as the playlist. I recommend the playlist because it will have everything that I've done so far for Silent Spy. And now we're done with that. Let's just go ahead and get into the game, shall we? That way I can go, that's right, the achievements. That way we can figure out what happened in the previous video. So
haven't done that. Yeah,
we haven't opened the locked box yet in Moira's safe, which is in Moira's closet. Track down a color copy of the Jabberwocky poem, which is here. We're going to look at that in just a minute. Discover what's hidden within the vault in the cabin. Right, we just got Mom's case notes and it has information on how to open that. Track down the passwords for the locked entries in the archives, which should be in her mom's case notes. Actually, I'm not positive. We'll find out when we read through it. Find a way to cross the courtyard over into Bridget's room. That's right, we need to find some sort of rope to attach to the bow. Find a way to the compound bow, sorry. Find a way to listen in on Alex's phone call. Alright. Break Mom's Jabberwocky code. Yeah, we need to do that. I think we're going to be doing that pretty soon, actually. One of the things I forgot to point out with the achievements is that in this game, I'm trying to go for the spoiler-free achievement, which is not using a single hint in the task list. And these are the hints, these question marks. I'm not going to click on it to show you. This will stop me from getting the achievement. I will probably pull up like a new game and show you how it's done. But it's pretty obvious. Anywho, let's get into Mom's case notes. I don't think I read all of it. So this isn't much, but it's what I have. Kate was working on these patterns when she was at Cathedral. This is what led us to find Revenant, and eventually led her to find the colony operation. Kate did her best work at the cabin, consider it a safe place. It's where we would monitor our leads from whenever we planted bugs or ran surveillance. I imagine you'll still find some useful tools there. Oh, Moira's that's a note to us. Okay. This is to help us unlock the, what was it called? The vault. This is for something different. Let's go ahead and read these pages, actually. I'm stuck. The name means something. Colony. Why haven't I figured it out yet? What I keep coming back to are those events. Okay, recap. Read this again and come up with something brilliant. Football season was over, but busloads of hooligans would still assemble, as if they just poured out of the most infuriating match the world had seen. This happened again and again over the course of a few weeks, all over the country. Then, nothing. I know it's crazy, but it was like they were taking orders from a highly skilled outside group, from Revenant. But why? What's the gain? Is this practice? 1 year later, the standing crowds, noon on a Tuesday, in dozens of cities across the country, standing large groups in the city centers. An hour later, they leave. Not one person involved agrees to be interviewed. At least at first. I tracked down one man. He agreed to speak, but seemed so scared. He didn't know why. Didn't know why he was afraid, but really didn't know why he was there that day. As he recalled, he just went. I've read about psych cases like his before. It was like someone had found a way to drop a series of breadcrumbs that he'd follow. Someone found a way to make him do what they wanted and feel like it was his own idea. I think those things we spotted, those were the experimental trials, and now they've left the lab. So are they putting this into practice and we're missing it? Or is this a tool that someone is waiting to use? And make special note, this isn't mind control. There's no magic beam. It's priming, giving people the information and stimulus it takes to reach a predictable, consistent outcome. If this sounds far-fetched, think advertising. Think of the items in your house right now that you absolutely had to have at the time and now couldn't care less about. That's priming in a nutshell. You're presented with expectation, and you fulfill that expectation often without knowing why. What we're looking at here is the evil twin of public relations. Basically, when danger appears, the human inclination is to seek out authority. That is what will be primed, more or less, with Colony. The formula, which will be some variant of the diseases I've sent in the encrypted file for obvious reasons, will sicken enough of the population to cause a societal collapse. If they are working the way I think, their actions in the days after the attack will be the red flag to watch for. Revenant has discovered how to take advantage of expected behavior and twisted it into a mold of their making. What follows will amount to a coup d'etat. Yeah, I'll try to put a definition of that on the screen right now. Picture this perfect storm scenario. The attack hits, the city is sickened, emergency crews come in. They ride in like saviors to put us back on our feet. We're grateful. We don't even notice that during that period of chaos, all positions of authority in the city have been filled by the emergency authorities. The structure of the city now belongs to Revenant. This is actually a lot like that new Spider-Man game that came out last year, I think. It was either last year or the year before. Gosh, that game is still new to me for some reason. Suddenly we're those people standing in the city center, knowing that the ground has shifted below our feet, but not knowing why. I think Colony is about theater, and it's about putting an ace in the hole. That is actually a real quote. It's not just from BioShock. I will also put the definition of that on the screen, because I'm pretty sure I did, though, in the previous video. Let's say the plan works. Stage 1 at least. City gets sick. City gets better. Revenant now leads the police, civil infrastructure, and has footholds in all levels of government and intelligence. That's why we're so fussy about the formula. This isn't just an attack, it's psychological warfare. See what I'm telling you? I spoke to Dr. Wells at Cathedral about the formula. She told me that even the tamest virus still poses a major threat to the sick, the young, and the old. Don't forget that when we hear phrases like non-lethal, it's a statistical expression. Moira, I don't know if I'm right or wrong here. I need your help. Whoever is behind this attack is only after keeping the productive members of the city alive. Tell me that doesn't give you chills. But why Glasgow? I've got work at the cabin. Find me there if you need me. Wow, did I get passionate there or what? Okay, so let's look at the Jabberwocky poem. Because if you're not familiar, Jabberwocky is from the story Alice in Wonderland. And I'm just saying story, because Jabberwocky I think is a book of its own. Because I know Lewis Carroll wrote a bunch of books set in Wonderland. Probably exaggerating on a bunch, but he did a relative number of Wonderland books. Alright, let's read this. 'Twas brillig and the slithy toves, the jar and gimble in the wabe, all mimsy were the borogoves, and the mome raths outgrabe. Beware the Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the Jub bird, and shun the frumious bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword. I'm doing the frickin' Captain Mal thing for Firefly. He took his vorpal sword in hand. Long time the manzom foe he sought, so rested he by the tum-tum tree, and stood a while in thought. And as in uffish thought he stood, the Jabberwock with eyes of flame came whipping through the tulgey wood, and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through the vorpal blade went snicker snack. He left it dead, and with its head he went galumphing back. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. O frabjous day! Callooh, Calais! He chortled in his joy. 'Twas brillig and the slithy toves, the jar and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the mome roused outgrabe. Yeah, crazy poem. Crazy. This is a crazy recitation. If some of those words sound familiar, you've watched the Johnny Depp version of Alice in Wonderland. Through the Looking Glass, that I believe it's what it's called. Crazy film. There are actually a couple of other films titled Through the Looking Glass, and some of those are actually Wonderland films. My favorite Alice in Wonderland film is the one with Tina Majorina and Gene Wilder, and a couple of other well-known actors in that one, actually. I forgot who they were, though. I'll probably put on the screen of who they are. I've been talking way too much. I'm not doing any gameplay on this, and I feel like I need to go ahead and stop the video here, because I do need to do something before 10 o'clock, and it's kind of freaking me out a little. Alright, so find a way to listen in on Alex's phone call. Oh, right, I remember now. Wait, weren't there some achievements that I was trying to get and... Oh, wait a second. No, no, I remember now. Let's go back to that. No. I remember now. Load that up. How much money do we have? Yeah, we have a ton. Okay, that's what the achievements were. I was going to do all the shopping stuff in the train station. We're not going to do that though. We need to talk to our cathedral contact, because I think he's going to help us out with the bugs.
Found out the deal with that Alec fella.
Yeah?
Anything interesting?
No, he's harmless.
Harmless?
I think so. But if he's taking a shine to you, use it to your advantage.
Yep. Right, and then there's help. Let me show you what the fast combo is. So, see this yellow thing right here?
Do you have anything that could help me keep an eye on Bridget?
Well, not as such. Unless... You're not afraid of heights now, are you? Check this out.
Yes!
Find a bow, and you can use this
Yes.
to zip across the courtyard. It's not safe, but it is fun.
Yeah. So you saw that yellow arrow, right? That it was lit up. That means you can actually click on that and skip the dialogue that's being spoken. I recommend not using it unless you're like just doing a casual play of it and you want to skip the dialogue, because really there are a lot of conversations in this specific game that yeah, we can ask that in a second. Actually, wait, I should be stopping here. Let's ask him this. And
is there anything you could tell me about Bridget?
That girl upstairs, I ran her background on a hunch.
And?
Nothing. Try not to let her become collateral damage. She seems sweet.
Her collateral damage? Dude, Nancy is the collateral damage. Alright.
Why was the attack centered on Glasgow?
We wondered that as well. It took us too long. We had that special vanity that made us think our lives were more important than anyone else's.
Yikes.
And that blinded us to the obvious.
Of course.
It was Glasgow because someone here wanted to play a risky game. When Revenant sees someone they think could be pointed in a direction they find advantageous, they drop a trail of breadcrumbs.
Yep. And we'll ask that in the next video.
Let you go.
Goodbye.
Because in the next video, we're going to be jumping from our room to Bridget's with this awesome bow and arrow. Compound bow. Frickin' excited. Oi! Okay, so, I'm actually going to go ahead and save here. In the next video, we definitely will do the achievements, actually. In fact, I'm going to save it like this so that I can remind myself of why. Yes. Alright. Ooh, shoot. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and head out. I'm going to save it again so that I know that I did save. Okay, so... Oh, jeez, I am cutting it close with it being 10 o'clock. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and head out here. One of the things that I've been doing recently is giving like a story/game review of the current game that I'm playing. And with Silent Spy, like, you guys already know why I don't like Silent Spy. It's not just because of the relationships, but also because of how they introduced Nancy's mom. Basically, Nancy's mom is voiced by Lonnie Manila, the voice of Nancy Drew. She alters her voice to sound a little older, and we get like a different actress as young Nancy. I think is a great idea. I just wish they had chosen a different actress for Nancy's mom. I mean, I know Nancy's mom is supposed to sound like our current Nancy, but it could have been better. As far as the story, you guys already know what I do and don't like about it. I think that is actually about it. Everything about this game. I'm just nitpicking so hard. This is one of my least favorite games as far as like story plot, but the gaming style of it I actually really like. I like the variety, especially because it's in Scotland. Awesomeness. I love learning about other countries. It's always fun, whether it's inaccurate or not. Okay, so now I really do have to get going. I love you all so much, with my beautiful kittens and viewers out there. I hope you all enjoyed this video as much as I did. I will talk to you all in the next video, which will be Nancy Drew the Silent Spy. And on that note, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If so, smash that like button like a kitten would. And if you're just now tuning into this channel, go ahead and click that ugly red subscribe button that's beautiful gray, as well as the bell icon right next to it. That'll notify you of all the videos that I do, which are on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Sundays, rarely Fridays. And I hope you all have a great morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world. I am Sweet Rascally Rabbit Fun World, saying goodbye. Stay awesome and stay on YouTube! Is pretty cool. Now, the thumbnail picture that I've used is actually really cool. It's some sort of fan art, but I can't find the name of the person who created it.